Welcome back to the desk. Postseason baseball is well underway, and it's been full of action. Joining me now at the desk are Joe, Giuseppe, Craig, and Antonio. Let's start things off in Toronto.
Yeah, Mason, let's head on over to Rogers Center, where the Blue Jays took on the Orioles. Jose Bautista at the plate, Chris Tillman on the mound, and Jose Bautista, the home run bat flip extraordinaire, hits one way over the wall in left field to give the Blue Jays a 1-0 lead early in this one. Top of the fourth, Manny Machado at the plate trying to tie things up. He hits one to the gap, but Kevin Pillar has a different idea as he dives and makes the play out there in center field. Pillar taking a run away from the Blue Jays with that outstanding play. Top of the fourth still. Next batter up, Mark Trumbo, the regular season home run leader, smacks one of his own over the wall in left field. That'll give the Orioles a 2-1 lead. Top of the fifth, Schoop at the plate. Scope's going to line one to Tulowitzki. Tulowitzki taking a page out of Pillar's book and diving to make the grab and get the out at first base. Bottom of the fifth, Carrera at the plate. Carrera lines this one to center field. That one drops in front of Adam Jones, and Jones just lets it play out as the Blue Jays tie the game up at 2 apiece. Top of the seventh, Matt Wieters at the plate. Wieters grounds this one to Donaldson. Donaldson with a barehanded grab just gets Wieters at first base, but that's going to count either way with that outstanding play. Josh Donaldson shows off his speed. In the bottom of the ninth, Russell Martin trying to win the game for the Blue Jays, but he ends up grounding into the inning-ending double play, and this game goes to extras. Bottom of the 11th, runners on first and third. Edwin Encarnacion ends it, and he ends it in a big way with a home run over the wall into the second deck, and the Blue Jays take the 5-2 win and go on to Texas.
Now, guys, one of the biggest controversies with this game is that arguably the best arm for the Orioles and Zach Britton, Showalter didn't put him in. Why didn't we see him?
Look at this. Ubaldo Jimenez has not been good since 2010. I mean, and you look at their numbers from this year, it's absolutely ridiculous that he didn't put Britton in over Ubaldo. Ubaldo had a 5.44 ERA, and Britton had a 0.54 ERA, as you see on your screens. And it's also Zach Britton's job to get out of situations like that. Right. He is the Orioles closer. So for him to not put a guy in with a 0.54 ERA is literally the worst thing you could do in a situation like that.
Well, you look at the 5.44 ERA, but what you aren't looking at is this post-All-Star break ERA, which was a 2.92. But you know what's better than a 2.92 ERA? A 0.32 ERA from Zach Britton. This guy has an 80% ground ball rate. Right. You have runners on first and third. The winning run on third, you need a ground ball to get out of the inning. Right. Why aren't you going to put your closer in that has an 80% ground ball rate when that's what you need to get you out of the inning? I mean, he really botched the call.
Yeah,
on
listen,
that one.
I mean,
really
I
did.
understand what Showalter was trying to do. He was trying to save Britton for the save opportunity, but there's no save opportunity,
there is no save opportunity
if you give up a walk-off home run.
Right.
So I don't know why he went to Ubaldo Jimenez. This guy is a bum. Like, why was he even on the postseason roster to begin with?
That's a nice way to put it.
And then he gives up 2 singles. It's first and third. Why don't you bring in Britton there? Why do you keep him in for Encarnacion and then Jose Bautista?
It was one of the worst bullpen decisions I've ever seen, and the Mets manager is Terry Collins. You know, I just don't understand it at all. As we said, Zach Britton, he is the best bullpen arm in Baltimore, in the entire American League. Ubaldo Jimenez, he's the worst starting pitcher in baseball. Why are you doing that in it's a one-game playoff? If it was a 3 or 5 game series, I can understand it. In a one-game playoff, you play your best guys.
Got some pretty strong opinions here. I like it. So let's move on here. Orioles were playing away. Would it have been managed or played differently if the Orioles were at home?
I got to tell you, at Camden Yards, it's a little bit of a smaller ballpark than Rogers Center. So you got hitters coming up that you saw it in the highlight. Right. They can hit these balls far and deep. So I think it would have been the same outcome. The Blue Jays would have won it, but I think they would have won it not in extras. They would have had the lead from the get-go. Yeah. With guys hitting.
Yeah, I agree. In Camden Yards, a lot more home runs are getting hit out there. And Baltimore and Toronto, I believe, are the number 1 and 2 in American League in home runs hit. Right. So I think Encarnacion, Bautista, and all those guys would have taken advantage of the small ballpark. So either way, I don't think Britton's getting in there anyway. I think Toronto would.
I mean, I think it's the same difference, the ballpark. I think the only difference is who comes in the 9th inning. Zach Britton would have pitched the 9th inning if they were at home. Sure. That is the only difference, I think, in the ballpark.
Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, the only difference that would have happened in this game is a beer can wouldn't have been thrown at Kim while he's trying to catch a fly ball in the outfield. There would have been no difference if it was home. I mean, the energy that they feed off of at the Rogers Center, yeah, that was a big deal, but there would have been no difference.
Good stuff. And now let's head back to the highlights for some Mets and Giants.
Yeah, we're going to Citi Field this time. And no, you guys are not watching a Vikings game. It is Thor night at Citi Field as Noah Syndergaard gets the start on the mound for the Mets against Madison Bumgarner and the Giants. Top of the fourth, Denard Span trying to spark some offense for the Giants, but he's going to be thrown out at second. As you see here by the replay, Jose Reyes holds the tag as Denard Span's foot comes off the bag, so he is out. Even when the Giants tried to challenge it, the play stood, and he had to go back to the dugout. Top of the fourth still, runner on first now for Hunter Pence, and Syndergaard gets Pence to swing and miss to end the inning. Bottom of the fifth, runners on first and second for Noah Syndergaard, and Madison Bumgarner gives Syndergaard a taste of his own medicine as he gets him striking out swinging to end the bottom half of the fifth. Top of the sixth, Denard Span at the plate. He's going to sneak one to center field. That one is good for the Giants' first hit of the game, and that'll take the no-hitter away from Noah Syndergaard. Top of the sixth still, runner on second, Brandon Belt. Belts one to center field. This one is going to be caught by Granderson as he smacks himself into the wall. Curtis Granderson, if you thought he couldn't do it, here's a slow motion replay as he catches the ball and slams into the wall. Brandon Belt, one of the only people in that stadium that didn't like that, but the rest of the team liked it and the fans loved it as Curtis Granderson saved the game for the Mets. Top of the seventh, runners on first and second for Joe Panik, and Panik bounces that one off the glove of Syndergaard, and he gets thrown out at first, and that'll end the night for Syndergaard as the reliever comes in and the bases are loaded for Hunter Pence. Hunter Pence swings and misses yet again. Pence really struggling to get something started here for the Giants. Bottom of the eighth, Cabrera at the plate, and he's just going to line one to Madison Bumgarner. This guy can do it all. You don't really need the other guys on the field if you have Madison Bumgarner at the mound. But this guy, if you don't know his name, you know it now. That is Gillespie hitting that home run, giving the Giants a 3-0 lead. Syndergaard can only watch in utter awe and shock. Bottom of the ninth, TJ tries to get something started here, and he just flies that one out to Denard Span, and the Giants go on to the NLDS against the Chicago Cubs with that 3-0 win.
Well, it was one heck of a pitching duel at Citi Field. Here to tell us more about Madison Bumgarner is our correspondent, Jake Bailey. Jake?
Thanks, Mason. Madison Bumgarner continues to dominate in the postseason. In the wild card matchup against the Mets, Bumgarner threw a 4-hit shutout gem. He has now pitched 23 consecutive postseason innings without allowing a run. 3 of his last 9 playoff games have been complete games with an ERA just under 1. In his last 8 postseason games on the road, Bumgarner is 8-0 with an outstanding ERA of just 0.50.
Thank you, Jake. Now, guys, let's wrap it up here. The Giants got past the Mets hurdle, but we got the Cubs coming up. We got enough?
I don't think they're going to get past the Cubs. I mean, they have a big 3 in Madison Bumgarner, Johnny Cueto, and Jeff Samardzija, but the Cubs pitching staff is just way too good with John Lester, Lackey, Hendricks, and Arrieta. These guys have been dominant. 2 of them are up for the Cy Young Award. So in my opinion, there's no way, even if it is an even year, even if they have all that magic, there's no way that they're going to win.
Yeah, like you said, the 4 Cubs pitchers, 2 are up for the Cy Young this year, 1 won the Cy Young last year, and the other one, 23 postseason games, a 3.11 ERA. Now, that's what you call postseason experience. With the lineup that they have, I don't see the Giants doing anything.
Yeah, you guys are forgetting, though, the Cubs have a giant monkey on their back. They haven't won a World Series since 1908.
Right.
Like, it's crazy. There's so much pressure on the Cubs this year that I think the Giants are capable of doing it. And also, Joe, you like to say this, the Giants win every 2 years.
An even year.
So, yeah,
what's
exactly.
gonna happen.
So, I think the Giants have a good chance. I think their pitching is just good enough to beat
Wrap
the
it up
Cubs.
for us.
Well, along with the 2 Cy Young candidates they also have 2 MVP candidates in their lineup. We're not even talking about their lineup at all. They got Chris Bryant, and it goes on and on. Right. I think unless Madison Bumgarner somehow pitches every single game, the Cubs are going to take this one.
Gotcha. Thanks, guys. That'll do it for This Week in Baseball. Stay tuned because Chris and Philip are back with a look into the pitch.